And moving on to our last story for the show tonight, African nations have found a way to trade in local currencies, which would reduce their dependency on the US dollar. The Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, or COMESA, has launched a digital payment system. It would allow the 21 member nations of the regional economic bloc to settle cross-border payments in local currencies, eliminating the need to convert them into hard currencies like the American dollar for international trade. The group said that the newly launched digital retail payments platform is starting with trials between Malawi and Zambia, and it is being rolled out in partnership with 2 digital financial services providers and a foreign exchange provider. The names of these partners have not yet been revealed. Now, Kenya's trade minister took to social media to hail the platform as a game changer. He added that the initiative seeks to assist medium, small and micro enterprises, which account for 80% of business and 60% of employment in member states. But despite their large presence, they deal through insecure and expensive cross-border payment systems. The launch followed Kenyan President William Ruto's takeover of the COMESA chairmanship. He has called for increased integration to boost trade. Now, his calls align with the African continent's push for local currency payment systems and a step toward making the trade less costly and less reliant on resource-sapping dollar transactions. But efforts to move away from the American dollar face stronger opposition from US President Donald Trump. He has repeatedly threatened multiple nations against trying to move their trade away from the American currency. Now, let's understand why dependence on the dollar is a problem for African businesses. Commercial African banks usually rely on overseas counterparts for the settlement of international payments, even if it means a transaction with another African neighbor. Under this system, the transaction between 2 African parties could reportedly cost from 10 to 30% of the trade deal's value. This makes cross-border business much more expensive. Now, according to the UN Trade and Development Agency, trade in Africa is 50% more expensive than the global average, and this is due to factors like transaction costs and poor transport infrastructure. Now, these challenges force African nations to opt for trade partners outside Africa more than their own neighbors. And to break this pattern, the newly launched digital payments platform aims to keep transaction costs allegedly under 3%. At a time when sweeping US tariffs have changed the face of geopolitics and global trade, a local digital payment system can enable African nations to reduce dependency on Western partners.
Want the facts?
The latest developments?
News that gets straight to the point.
Well, we've got all 3 just for you. This is Firstpost Live, a brand new show, your window into what really matters.
Don't miss it.